What's up? Monday morning. We're gonna continue work on the Chevrolet here. We have to actually finish grinding the driver's side of the frame and get it all finished, cleaned up. And then we're gonna go ahead and take the shock hoops that came off it up for like an IFS setup, and we're gonna cut them up and modify them, and then we should be able to tack it all together, test fit the shocks, and then we should be able to weld it all up. But we got a lot of work to do today, guys, so let's get started. Alright guys, so this is what we got to do here. We got to cut the end off, that end off, this part, and these. And they're welded on the inside and the outsides of them. So we'll see how much we can get these tabs off here so we can reuse them. If not, we'll have to make more, and that just takes more time. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we were working on cutting up these shock towers to reuse these tabs. It's not going to work, as you can see. So James and I are going to get in the engineering PC here, and we're going to cut out some new shock tabs. James didn't quite know how to use it, but he figured it out over the weekend, so we're going to cut some out. So let's do this. Alright guys, and end of the day, we ran out of time. We got those shock tabs all designed up. Now tomorrow morning we'll pretty much just cut them out, and then we'll get them tacked on those shock hoops. We'll make some lower dome mounts for them too, and then we'll cut out some frame plates. Here, I'll show you guys. We gotta plate this up. There needs to be a frame plate from the back of that to the front of that to cover all that up, and then for us, we'll also strengthen up the frame since it is a solid axle truck now, and we'll have a nice solid 1/4 inch surface to weld on our dome pieces too, so that'll be pretty cool. But alright guys, we'll see you guys in the morning.
Let me fall back into sleep. When I wake up, you say I have a real dream.
Back at the house, James and I just ran up to Tacoma Steel. We picked up some steel plate. Had to get some 3/16ths for the Reality Bender's truck and some more dome. So James and I will get this stuff unloaded and then we'll cut a section that we need for the first shock hoop and we'll start bending them up. So let's get started, guys. Alright guys, we got our first piece bent up here, but it's a little bit wrong, but that's okay. It's James's first time using the machine, and it's been a while. It's been like a year since I've used it last, so this is what we got here. We got, you know, our extra length on this side, you know, and then here's his mark, but your bend doesn't start till like an inch away. So this is long enough, and that's set for 90 on the machine. It just has to be turned up a little more for spring back. And this side's just a little too short at what it works. So James and I are going to take a piece of that dome we bought, since this was the last piece of dome we had. It's kind of a practice piece. And then we'll cut off the length we need there, and we'll get our actual shock hoop bent up. So let's do it. Man, it doesn't get much better than that, guys. I haven't used that machine in like a year, and that was James's first time, you know, so that's pretty cool. We got our first, you know, our test piece. See, you know, what it does, and now we got refreshed, or I got refreshed. So now James is going to clean up his hands, since he's got this stuff all over his hands. It's on the machine just to help lubricate the bend, or in the die. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out the notcher and make these to the length we need them, and then, or cut them to the length we need them, and then we're gonna notch all these ends out, and then we'll cut off some little end stanchion pieces that'll come out from the frame for these pieces to weld to, and then we'll start tacking it together. Alright, we got our shock hoops all made up to where they need to be. We got them made exactly the right length. We have to take off like 5 inches off of them, so they'll be perfect after we test fitted them. But that's why we left the extra length, is when you're bending stuff like this up, you always want to leave a little extra, so when you're done you can just trim it to fit. So tomorrow morning, this will end up being a 3-day video, because today took, I don't know, it took like 5 hours to drive all the way up to Tacoma and back and get what we needed. To get this dome and some 3/16 plate to go ahead and plate up the frame there. So yeah, in the morning we'll get in here, we'll cut off these pieces, we'll notch them, and then we'll take these pieces we cut off, and those will be the little stanchions that will come off the side of the frame for the dome hoops to mount to. We'll tack it all together, do some test fitting, and then we'll get into the frame there and we'll design up some frame plates with some cardboard. It's just super easy to do that for like frame plating. Stick them in there, and then we got those to measure off of to put in the engineering PC, and then we'll get those frame plates cut out, get those welded on, and then once the shock hoops are how we want them, then we'll get those welded on and fully welded up, since they'll be tacked together until we're totally satisfied. But alright guys, we'll see you guys in the morning. Alright guys, back at it this morning, back on the Silverado here. So James and I are going to get right to this. We're going to grind down the frame a little bit more where the factory shock mount was, because it's not coming out of there. It's going to stay in there. It's just it's welded all the way around, and we're going to cut a big hole in the frame if we were to cut that out. So it's going to stay. It's already like plated on top of the frame, so that'll be fine. And then we're going to get into the plasma engineering PC here and get some frame plates designed up, some Cougar House Fab ones, and then make some little plates for the shock hoops, for the little stanchions that come off the frame, the dome pieces, little caps. And we'll get this all tacked together and do a test fit. So, alright guys, we've got a lot of work to do. Let's continue. Alright guys, so I just got back from lunch here, and James cut out these caps for the dome. Well, they don't go there, but obviously they'll go on the other ones in the frame. Cut out a few more shock tabs, and then he cut out the Cougar House Fab frame plates here. See, the frame is curved a little bit, so we did these cutouts so that way we can bend it in the frame, and then we'll set these on top, raise a little bit, and we'll weld them. some stitch welds. It'll look super cool. And then we'll get these cut and made up here. So let's continue the fabrication.
Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out low. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air you bring, everything. I'm in the sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. Oh, the sight of you brings the fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine. Tonight we're freer than ever. I wanna remember. Oh, we run every endeavor. I wanna remember. Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out. No, was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air you bring, everything. I'm in the sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. Oh, the sight of you brings the fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine. Tonight we're freer than ever. I wanna remember. Oh, we run every endeavor. I wanna
Alright guys, awesome. It's been a long couple of days. We've been working on this Silverado here. You know, the whole first day we mainly cut everything off of the frame and got the frame all, damn it phone, and got the frame all cleaned off, all the IFS components taken off of it, and then we were able to design up some Cougar House Fab frame plating for it. And you know, sometimes you can leave that off there, but most of the time in any solid axle swap, you want to gusset up the frame right there, because most frames are only 1/8 inch, so you want to gusset it up with some 3/16, so that way when you're welding on your shock hoops or whatever, you got a way better or thicker surface to weld to, you know, so it's just way stronger, way better. You know, when you don't do that, down the road you can have problems with frame cracking and all kinds of negative things you don't want to mess with. So you always, usually on these trucks, you want to gusset up the frames. On leaf sprung trucks, it's not as important as on a truck that's like 3-linked or 4-linked up front, but it's still something you want to do for preventative maintenance and just for overall strength. You know, you want these frames to be super strong after you cut everything out from under them and turn it into a solid axle truck. So that's pretty good. You know, we got our shock hoops designed up. We just haven't notched out the sides of them yet and put them together because we just, you know, spent some time, you know, plating up the frame, so it was nice and strong and ready for us to weld these onto. Plus, I'm sure you guys saw in the video here that, you know, the holes in the frame where the factory IFS mounts were, so that's also another reason we plated up the frame so we have somewhere to weld to. So we got these pretty much designed up. Like I said, we just have to notch them out and then start tacking them together tomorrow. We've made it pretty far the past couple days, but you know, this is what it takes when you're custom fabbing stuff like this. Plus, it's our first Silverado of this year that we have to do. So when our next Silverados that come in, we'll have, you know, Cougar House Fab frame plates designed up, but we had to do all the R&D on this truck. And same thing with the shock hoops. So, and you know, we didn't rebuild the stock ones like we were, or those weird IFS dual shock hoop ones. We cut them apart. It just wasn't going to work. So we ran up to Tacoma Steel and got some dome tubing and made up our own set. And they're a lot better anyway. So we're pretty happy with go ahead and deciding to go that route. But all right, guys, that's enough rambling about the Silverado. In our next episode here, we'll catch you guys. We'll tack our shock hoops together and get them in there, tacked in how we want them, and make sure everything is where it needs to be, and the shocks are plumb and everything and all that good stuff. And then we'll weld the frame plates in and weld together the shock hoops and then weld them on. But we just got to do that tacking together and test fit phase tomorrow. And then we'll move on from there, guys. But hey, thanks for watching today, guys. Thanks for your constant support as always. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the frame plates. And then if you guys like Cougar House Garage, you like what we do, check us out at cougarhousegarage.com. Check out our Facebook and check out our Instagram, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.